refactoring almost everything, and yeah, I just put art in, and it was changing over a game manager to the new flow. So I tried a new service with ChatGPT called where is this? Codex. This was very interesting. I thought this was really cool. You can suggest, or you can pick a repo of yours and have it kind of run a regular prompt as it would, but then it'll actually form it into a pull request. So if I go to my pull request here, you can see here's 4 pull requests that were generated by Codex. This one here, I think this was, yeah, it recognized, hey, we've got an updated way of actually accessing our drink data, so we should go and update that. So that was really cool. Kind of similar to Bezi, but it works through the pull requests rather than directly, so obviously it's not getting full Unity context, and I think really you're missing a lot of speed that you get from Bezi. Like over here, it's cool that you get it in this, you know, PR. You know, assembles all this stuff for you. Like here, I open it up in Unity and I was like, oh, it's broken because it needs assembly references. It didn't go and add assembly references when I was starting because I am trying to do this quickly. So it was interesting to see that, and that like you can go fix it and then merge those in, which I really like. As an alternative, Bezi is really nice with just, hey, start up and go. So I think where we're at, I need to finish stringing up some of the gameplay here. I definitely need to update the prefabs. I might actually do some object pooling for that. But yeah, let's go. I have these effects. Well, let's do top down. So go in top down in our inspector. We've done the game manager, lane manager. This doesn't have a reference to the spawns yet, so I think we'll need to bring back our spawner. Score manager is good. We have our score text set up. Oh yeah, let me fix that UI thing. So I was looking at this in my LinkedIn post and I hated how I actually oriented it, so I want to fix that. There, and then let's move our way. So yeah, that looks so much better. So about 6:15 is perfect. Okay, yes, I'm so much more satisfied because now too the ingredients appear over here, and so that's a little more intuitive. As you might have seen, all of these people's positions were fake, so they're not actually tied to the lanes. So if I wanted to fix that, right, and say, hey, I want to, or hold up, not fix that they're not tied to the lanes. That's a whole feature we haven't built in yet. What we're looking at here is that where I had placed them statically is now out of sync and doesn't match what I had earlier. Or does it? But maybe I'm confused. It moved down with the lane. I need to reference my own post now because I'm confusing myself. Show all my posts. Yes, they were in the bottom lane. Ah, yeah, there. I was looking for this guy. I lost it visually. So this guy up here is in the wrong place, and we need them to be in the lanes. And you'll notice if I grab all of them, you know, our bartender and all these paddlers, Unity has a dash over this position Y. So if I go and change their Y, it sets it to be all the same. That's not desired. I don't want to do that. I like their Y positions. So how would I fix them and just easily slide them back down? Well, Unity is amazing if you know little tips and tricks. So all you got to do is create an empty game object. Doesn't matter anything about the game object. So we'll go and grab all of them, put them under said game object, and then we can use this as a little slider to move our people back down. Perfect. Love it. So we could leave them under here for now. Call them entities or something. Typically what I like to do if I have a game object like this and I want it to be like a parent, just like the canvas, I don't want it to be treated as its own thing with its own size because that could have all sorts of weird implications. What I do is I go and I set it to the flexible stretched boundaries in both directions, and I go and zero it out. Now that will have messed up the character positions, you see, because they are all anchored to that object. So now you see what I'm talking about. You mess up stuff if you just start doing it in Unity. You have to be a little careful. All we need to do is move them out, then we can perform operations as we see fit. So now it is one-to-one with our screen space. That is what a zeroed out blank rect transform that stretches is. Take all of my paddlers, put them back down. Now I could do anything I want with it if I so desire. But I have this nice empty game object and they are treated just like they would be in screen space. So you can see I have them anchoring to the left. I think there was an idea that when I spawn them, I might put them on the actual lane. But I'm thinking because I'm not using colliders or anything like that, it might be simpler to just put them under a parent object like this. So for now, our little proctum scene is going to look like this. So going back over to our game manager, we have this current drink display and rhythm display. So I don't know why we have 2 rhythm bonuses. It should be handled by our score manager. So let's go and look at this drink manager. Go over to rhythm. You can see rhythm bonus display here. Now, if there's ever a property I don't like in Unity, and I'm like, I want to get rid of this thing, typically what I even do before saying, oh hey, let me go and try to, how would you say, look at where it is and all that. So you could highlight your name, the name of the property that you're trying to delete, go look at it in the script and you can see it's all highlighted. I don't actually like that, it's still hard to read, so I get rid of it. And what getting rid of it does is it shows you, not just in the context of this script, but if other scripts in Unity reference that thing, they will show up over here in your compiler errors. So yes, you can totally go and use your IDE's context actions and say, hey, I want to find usages of this and where are all of the usages and find it that way. And this is perfect. I love this. This is amazing. Sometimes though, the little red lines stand out really clearly for what I need to focus on. And I like them. So here we are. I'm trying to delete this display bonus property because our score manager should be handling that. Typically when I am building games, I do separate all the UI out to separate classes, but because I'm in a jam style, I'm kind of just trying to do this quickly, and I'm doing it with AI, so we're bound to run into little weird decisions like this that I don't particularly care for. So here we are. We could kind of see clearly what that property I deleted was responsible for. We're getting a rhythm multiplier and changing its color. There's no actual other functionality to this, so I don't even think it was plugged in with anything. Now rhythm multiplier is no doubt plugged in with stuff, so we could go and find its usages, and we could see it's used with your score. when we register a drink complete, what do? So we go pass in our final score, which is used with our multiplier, and this takes in a rhythm bonus. So I'm a little confused. It seems like we might be applying a rhythm bonus twice. Let's go look at this method, right? So this rhythm bonus. Oh, so this will add our combo, and then we'll tap our multiplier. So I don't know why we're doing the score multiplication twice. So obviously we've run into a problem, and this is what's great about having AI tools is all of this generative stuff is great. Like, we get so much to work with, but our internal filter as a developer tells us, hey, we need to act and guide ourselves by certain principles. And so one of these principles that we're really concerned about is a set called solid. And so solid principle is pretty cool. So we've got this image. So single responsibility class should only have one thing that it does. There's a bunch of other ones here, like keeping it open for extension, closed for modification, that says, hey, this single thing that we built and do, let's make it so we can have an extension of that that does a little bit more specialized version of that operation, or maybe combines this operation with another discrete one. Liskov substitution. All classes must be substitutable for its base types. Obviously, if there's something we can do with a shape, we want to do that with all shapes, circles, squares, triangles. There's no reason we shouldn't be able to get the area of any of those. That is something that should live as a single responsibility on the base class of shape. Anyways, this is a lot of programming nonsense. So the takeaway from this is a class should only have one responsibility. And when we're looking over here at our drink manager, it has this score stuff for completing a drink. We don't care about any of that. We don't want it to be scoring. So let's look at the logic here and get rid of this score stuff. So a rhythm multiplier, we gotta kind of see where this is coming from and how this is being iterated, because as far as we know over here, where was it? Score manager. This is coming in as a bool. So we're saying, is our rhythm multiplier greater? Now, I don't think this ever gets associated. We'll have to check. So again, we're going to look at usages. So it's private to this class, which is already a bad sign, saying, hey, this drink manager is, trying to track beats or rhythm. So you can see we have this update rhythm multiplier. Now this is our culprit here. So we can find, again, usages of update rhythm multiplier. And so we're looking over here in beat window, and we update it to be 0. Let's, make sure we're understanding this right. So at the end of the beat, we're saying if you do have more than 0 consecutive hits, your hits is going to be a max of 0 or your consecutive hits minus 1. So we're saying not really sure what this is supposed to be doing. I believe what this should be doing here is ending and resetting your consecutive rhythm hits to 0. But because I'm unsure, and I could keep diving into this and looking at it via code, what I can do instead is say, hey, I want to save some time, look this up. So let's go over to Bezi. I'm going to switch it out of the agent mode here, and I'm going to say, hey, let's do it as a new task. So I want your help understanding if this is a bug. So we'll say in the drink manager script in the end beat window method. So in the @beat manager script, and drink manager is what we're looking at. So in the drink manager script and the end beat window method. End beat window method. Seems like we are checking. We'll paste it here just for reference. I'm sure it'll get the context of what we're talking about, but I kind of just want to see it myself. So it looks like we're checking if consecutive rhythm hits is greater than 0. If so, we set it to a max of itself minus 1 or 0. Then we update the rhythm multiplier. I'm a little confused. I believe, according to the desired gameplay, which is if you miss the beat window, your score resets. The code should operate differently and just set that multiplier to 0. From my understanding, what this is doing is it is reducing the combo multiplier instead of resetting it. Is that correct? And if so, could you weigh some pros and cons of going either design direction? Finally, I think it is relevant to bring up. So, in kind of all this, I noticed that we seem to be duplicating our rhythm hits. So I want to ask it, looking at our score manager and our rhythm manager, if we're duplicating responsibility. So I'm going to go over here, bring up this concern. It seems like while drink manager is counting consecutive rhythmic hits, we may be duplicating that logic in multiple places. I see in the rhythm manager, obviously it's not getting any input, it's just kind of handling the beats. So it is responsible for handling the beats and not necessarily the input or gameplay. I think that's good. There is, however, an unused method. So something nice about certain IDEs is they'll gray out a method when it's unused and tell you, hey, no one's actually using this method. Very useful, especially if you're ever doing like a AI programmer workflow. So let's see. get timing accuracy. We'll go over here. Get timing accuracy, which seems it should be used or is essential given our audio is a big part of this game. And then finally, I want to bring up the concern with the duplication of counting multiplier in the score manager. Also, in the score manager, we have an attribute for the multiplier. Can you dig in and... Oh, this is another important one to bring up. The tapper input manager. So this is what's actually handling it. So let's see. Handle keyboard input. So when we do a character entry, we just add on to the current word. This input timing is used for submit current word. Okay, so that gives me some indication of what's happening as well. So it looks like the AI systems that were there were looking for rhythmic final submissions, like you hit the enter key and is that on rhythm. I want to see rhythmic typing overall, and from actually looking into the tapper input manager, it seems it's based around counting the submission of words for the rhythmic gameplay element. I want to instead have the typing of individual characters. Maybe I will switch this to agent mode. I wanted to demo the ask, so what I'm actually going to do is keep this for now. Instead have the typing of what is going on in this song's weird. Okay. Instead, yeah, we're gonna keep it in ask mode, and then I'll move to an agentic flow to demo that. But let's instead have the typing of individual characters count for rhythmic combos. Rhythmic combos. However, this does bring up a concern. It does bring up a concern, though. I'd want letter entries to be less significant to contributing to your combo than word submissions. I also want this to work inversely. So hitting letters off beat is less impactful negatively than submitting a word off beat. That sounds like interesting, kind of deeper gameplay, kind of combining what I was initially thinking with semi-random results I got from AI. Let me know your thoughts, and then we'll take the results of this and see where it goes. So right now, it's building up a context of the Unity editor, so it wouldn't be a good idea for me to go and change any files. In fact, I didn't compile before submitting this, so there's a chance it may not look at the full changes. I'm still not 100% sure on how Bezi is supposed to work in that regard. Oh no. Skytech won't be able to finish their jam project. That's just too bad. I'm cutting it close here myself, so. I don't see any messages in my stream chat, so I'd like to believe there's no one in here with us, but let me double check Twitch on my phone just to be sure that I'm not missing anybody's messages here. Oh, we do have 6 viewers. I don't see any chat though, so say hi if you're here and have questions. Oh no, my phone audio is playing. I could have got bad real quick. Okay, submit. And do I see that in my... Oh, it does come up in my stream chat. Excellent. Cool. Well, thanks to all people viewing here. I'm gonna get right back into talking about Bezi and what I've got going on. So, well, where was I? Rhythm system, bug, and design issues. So yeah, we've identified several important issues. Hey, thanks for tuning in, Bert Lerdsman. Bert Lerdsman. I hope I'm saying that right. And yeah, I'm working on a tapper style game, but instead of tapping to fill up your client's beer, you gotta mix a drink by typing words, and it's rhythmic, so you're typing words to the beat to do bar tricks as you're mixing your drink. And hi, Julian. Thanks for joining and tuning in here. Appreciate having you. I don't have my camera. It's not working on my laptop right now. So next time I do a stream like this, I'll have a camera and you can see my beautiful face and beard. Hey, thanks Mello Guerrero for joining. Appreciate y'all tuning in. So yeah, I'm showing off Bezi. Bezi is a pretty cool tool, and you see I was just in my LinkedIn posts here. Where am I? Bezi is an AI tool. You can see it here. I'm about to go over the results I got from it. And they're doing a game jam that I'm participating in. So, here's the game jam, I think. Or is it this? This one. So, this is the game jam, Summer Rhythm Jam. There's $600 in prizes, split between top 3 places. 7 days. I joined pretty much a day ago. I've not had a lot of time to work on this. The theme is summer adventure plus rhythm. So other than that, you've got complete creative control, and I'll talk through how I got to my idea in a second. First, second, third place prizes, 300, 200, 100. You also can get Steam gift card for giving some feedback on Bezi, all that sort of stuff. So Bezi, pretty cool. It's a developer assistant tool. It's got a cool agentic mode that I'll demo in a second, but basically you could use it to code, debug, ask questions, learn all that sort of stuff. So we're doing some AI-powered super development here. And hey, yeah, Mello, thanks for tuning in. Yeah, you'll probably get lots of interesting feedback here. I was talking a little earlier about how I kind of like Bezi over the, where did that go? the ChatGPT codex, which is pretty interesting. Here we are. Yeah, it like sends PRs, so you get like this whole PR in GitHub when it finishes its thing. You could review the code that way, and it's an interesting flow. But it doesn't have the Unity context, so that's why I'm liking Bezi. That's why I'm excited to keep using it. So let's look at the output of that prompt that I ran, because I was getting stuck. So we had identified several important issues. Yes, end beat window. This is most likely a bug based on your intended gameplay design. So gradually reduces combo by 1 with each beat window. It's not the worst behavior, but I was telling it, hey, I wanted to do 0. So it's trying to get my intent. So you're absolutely right about the logic duplication. Here's what I found. Blah, blah, blah. Yes, okay, wait, this is actually important because this is what I was looking at, was the logic duplication. So its timing calculations not used for good timing accuracy. Drink manager is duplicating its stuff. The multiplier is its own score system. Tapper input manager is doing the timing calculation logic, but we kind of want that to be part of the rhythm manager. So word-based to character-based rhythm is interesting. Only word submissions count for rhythm, but we want individual characters with different impact weights. Yeah, letters are less significant than words, so we suggest consolidating the rhythm system. So fix the indent system, create a unified rhythm system, and get the unused output. Okay, so I like this. It seems like it's got a bunch of the data and references I need added in here. So we're going to try switching to the agentic mode. We're going to design a prompt around its recommended solution here. So I'll tell you, I want you to proceed with the recommended solution. However, I have a strong desire, let's say, and what I'm trying to capture here is I'm going to want it to identify if we want to strip out this tapper input manager to just be responsible for tapping. Because again, remember we were talking about solid code principles. Single responsibility is huge. So we want to make sure that like this isn't trying to do too much. And right now it's like it's doing beat tolerance stuff. It's getting the current word and all that. I think this class is handling too much. So I'm going to tell the agent, hey, I want you to fix this too much crazy busy crap that we're doing. So, however, I have a strong desire to abide by solid principles. I have identified that Tapper input manager is handling a lot of logic it shouldn't. And something I think that's kind of essential for Bezi, I'm not too sure, is like when you're mentioning a thing, because it's plugged in, you don't necessarily want to use a semantic tag like this. And this is like, if it's just words here, that's what I'm calling a semantic tag. What we want to use is an actual reference, so that I believe the system will know exactly what we're talking about here. So Tapper input manager. And now, by doing that, what I'm hoping, or I think kind of what the intention is to avoid hallucination, avoid it trying to like not look at the actual Tapper input manager, but make associations off of it as a semantic tag. If we do it as a actual reference here, it should hopefully apply to the context model, right? Still learning Bezi, so we'll see how this goes, but I believe this will keep us a little safer and close to what we want. It's handling a lot of logic it should. So in that, I mean a lot of the rhythm stuff it would occur to me that the input manager here should really just be responsible um, for capturing the player input and holding a targeted word. Hey, Fatal Break, welcome to the stream. And you have a great question. So, is there anything like Bezi for UE? And I assume you mean Unreal Editor. So that's an amazing question. If I go and look at Bezi, I think they're Unity only at this point. But honestly, I'm sure they have a bet or a hedge, maybe it's some sort of strategy to take a look at Unreal, because I believe Bezi's intent here is to be a dev assistant. Right now it says Unity, but you take out 3 letters here, add 4 letters, and you got Unreal. So I'm sure they've got it on the roadmap in some way. But a tool that I've been using as of today, a friend introduced it to me, is ChatGPT's Codex. So you could go into the Codex here, associate it with one of your GitHub repos, which I mean, I have already feed a lot of code into ChatGPT. Directly connecting my GitHub to Codex felt a little weird, but it's cool. It'll make commits for you and things like that. So you could use this with an Unreal project. Now, the big difference between something like this is it's not live and hooked into the editor. So you can see there's like a little Bezi status tag here in the editor, and it's actually got a plugin that lives inside the Unity editor here. So this codex isn't actually plugged into like the Unreal editor. Yeah, here we have an answer. Bezi is currently only for Unity builds. For UE in the future also. So you could use something like Codex, but the main difference between agentic workflow like Codex and Bezi is running on your machine here, and it is connected live to Unity, and it's able to grab and associate context that you can't. Hey, still the old work pick. Yeah. You must be from ARS, I would imagine. I thought the name Fatal Break looked familiar. So yeah, I haven't got a better picture of myself in VR since the ARS contract a few years ago, and I think it looks good. So no competitive gamer Armada logo. Got my VR stuff on there. Old and classic. Ah, yes, I know. I recognize Fatal Break. I don't know if y'all saw it on the stream. His little Discord come up. That was awesome. Yes. Fatal Break. Much love, brother. Man, the weather's been crazy lately over in the Midwest and southern region. Absolutely nuts. Where was I? I was talking about Bezi and it being plugged in. So let's see what it being plugged in does with this agentic workflow, because I think this is really, really neat. So occur to me the input manager should really just be responsible holding a targeted word. Let me know your thoughts on the above, and let's tackle the points below. And I think I still have those pasted. Yes. So this is fixing the end beat window bug, creating a unified rhythm input system. Should this just live as the rhythm manager? I don't feel like it's necessarily needed if we can split responsibilities between our existing input manager and the rhythm manager. So this is why solid is important, because like as you're expanding stuff, if things have shared responsibility, it becomes a mess. What I want to do is when I tag something like this, I want it, hey, this one discrete responsibility, this one discrete unit of the game player code isn't working, or I want it to change or do this. So it's very important when you're working with AI to remind it, hey, don't overload classes. I want split responsibilities. And don't, what it's trying to do here, right, is don't make up random classes that you don't necessarily need. So next was use the unused, yeah. So just C note above. And that's, I do this sometimes. If you just give bullets, sometimes an agentic flow or an AI will literally treat the bullets as separate things. So if you actually leave little notes like this, it reminds it to like, oh, hey, don't split the meaning and context. Actually, these two things could be combined together. They aren't separate elements. And then finally, separate rhythm multiplier from score multiplier. They serve different purposes. I'm still unsure about this. From my understanding, I wanted you to have an overall score multiplier that increases and decreases based upon your rhythm. These are not separate things. They should be one. And so again, you see, like, if we just accept what AI has given us here, we're not always going to get the best answers. But I even think taking the tokens it gave us here, because hey, we didn't like this token, right? We didn't like that. Repeating that token and saying, hey, this is what I don't like about it, actually sort of treats that token as like a negative modifier for the next prompt, and you'll get something that is more like what you want. So always be giving AI your opinions. I say, don't just say, oh yeah, continue, please, yeah, do the thing, because you'll wind up with stuff like I had over here with the duplicated attributes I didn't need. So we'll send this in. I found it's not a good idea to touch your IDE while you're running your agentic flow. It can cause little weird issues. But a good thing to look at is your GitHub changes here, and you'll actually see these change live because this is operating live on the files. It's like saves a state prior to its edits and then after, which is kind of cool. At least I believe that's what it does. We'll see. Yeah, over here, I didn't even finish changing anything. I just deleted that thing, asked the question. Now we've got the results of that question that I had originally asked, and we've kind of reviewed its answers, given it the direction of where we want the gameplay to go, and now it's running. So it's going to do a bunch of this stuff, so let's kind of follow along with it. So it wants to know about the timing quality enum and see if there's missing UI references. So let's re-implement solid compliance. So yay, architecture issues. I'm absolutely right. It's only like I'm a professional Unity architect. Who would have known? So it's now refactoring our drink manager. What's cool about this is it'll see the changes even as it's live and going, so you can kind of review it before it's even done. A lot of the times it finishes before I'm done reviewing some initial changes. Stuff's pretty quick. So ending the beat window. This now sets consecutive rhythm hits to 0, and what I kind of like about that, right, is now our system is just caring about the rhythm hits. It's not doing any sort of score multiplier here. Where score multiplier is going to come in is when we're passing these rhythm hits in. So you still got this rhythm multiplier, and I don't like that, but we're going to be passing all of that in to our score manager, which should then decrease and increase as needed. So let's see, any other changes? No, just this one little discrete change in this file. This is kind of why I like code, again, over blueprints or visual scripting sometimes, because visual scripting is cool, but it is sometimes very visual, and you don't get to see differences. Like we have these amazing tools to see differences in text. So I could see what the old logic was and compare it kind of directly here. And that is super nice. So like you can do similar things in visual scripting, and of course you could still unitize out things. But when it's literal written instructions, if I fully understand what this method does and where the life cycle goes from there, it's a lot easier to break apart these methods or change things. Oh, that was new. I haven't seen this before. Okay, so if you context menu, click on changes, you can copy your changed line. Oh, that's cool. Very interesting. Yeah, little new features all the time. Okay, so it fixed the end window bug. It added this time and quality enum. See, now it's kind of like hallucinating stuff. It's like, I need to check for the time and quality enum. I believe in our code, we didn't have time and quality enums. I just sort of had like methods that were like, yeah, here it is. Oh, no, this is the AI input just now. Blah. I had basically, you got it perfect, you got it, or it's offbeat. So that's fine. I like that it is in enum flow that overall feels pretty good. So refactor the Tapper input manager to follow single responsibility. Got rid of the generics for some reason, so we're gonna want to look at that. Curious why that is. Rhythm feedback text is hilarious. Kind of sad it's getting out of this, but it doesn't belong in this class anyway. That's something that should go in the score. So current word, last input time is gone. Okay, great. So it looks like all the rhythmic elements are out of here. We now have handle character input in addition to handle keyboard input. So I don't know why this is necessarily different. I want to figure that out. So technically, it's all keyboard input. I don't know why character input it's saying should be handled separately, but we'll roll with it. We'll see what's going on. Deleted my comments. Added a missing bracket. Maybe that's just an oddity from the diff changes. Let's go down, look at the actual changes it's doing. So handle character input. Yeah, this is where it's introducing the method. I see why it said it added a bracket there, because this used to be where we handled character input. So we check, are we typing, is any input down? We'll notify the rhythm manager. Excellent, that's exactly what I wanted to see. Is this script not handling the responsibility of what, the rhythm system, but just telling, hey, rhythm system, a thing you need to know happened. Let's look down here, what do we got? So C equal, this is the same, so I just deleted the comment. Okay. Alright, so it's just adding that character to the substring. But what's nice is we now have a little callback method here on our rhythm manager for a character is typed. And yeah, submitting words now doesn't handle any of this rhythm stuff. So you got rid of submitting to the drink manager. I'll want to see that in a second. Show rhythm feedback. So we say, hey, rhythm manager, the word is submitted. Clear the current word. And then that method ends. So this is something I do want to highlight, right? Is our drink manager seems like it doesn't have a callback now. We might actually need to tell it, hey, spawn the drink. We got rid of time and quality, all that stuff. Clear current word. The serve drink to lane method. This is probably where it's being handled. We'll need to see if that gets called. But cool, that was the changes for that. So over here in Rhythm Manager, it added that beat tolerance attribute from the other class. Hey, there's a rhythm feedback text. I love that idea. I'm glad to see that the AI thought it was neat as well. So get timing accuracy equals -1. We've got.
Not so good.
Okay, cool. This is essentially the same. How does this timed check work?
Trying to make a fool out of me.
I could actually go look at this script in my IDE because it should be updated. So, enhanced rhythm manager. Let's take a look. We were looking at which lines specifically. Getting lost in Bezi. Okay, get timing accuracy around line 80. Okay, so what we were looking at is this one. So time to check. Input time. Okay, so we're anticipating that whenever we're going to call this, we're going to pass the current time.time, and then if there's frame delays or something, this method is protected against that. Because this either says, oh, no, that's not what's going on. So if we pass a value, we treat it as that value. Otherwise, we're going to take the current time.time. That seems fine. I'll need to see where we use this. Right now it's not used, right? So we'll need to make sure that gets updated and used. So update the score manager with new methods and unified multiplier system. So see 18 changes, 11 discards. So okay, we still have the register drink complete. It's no longer taking a rhythm boost, it's just taking the base score, because we're gonna update our multiplier on our end. Okay. So this update multiplier is gonna take your combo and set it at a max of 5. Let's see if we have uses for that combo. So running over there we go. Add to combo. So 3 usages here. So oh, I did not need to show on diagram. I just wanted to see the usage. So Alt F7 to bring up this little menu. I wanted to do it. I guess that does it by hand. Not sure why the other hotkey there wasn't working. I feel like it should. JetBrains is a little weird. Okay, so we see we use it if you get perfect. We're gonna add 50 impact multiplier for a perfect rhythm submission. 25 for good. Offbeat is going to only 4 words can break combo. Okay, we'll see how that goes in a second. I think that's fine. I may want to have it where negative character entries impact your score, but I think miss resets your combo to 0. So this is meant to be if you make a word submission that is offbeat and it's a full word submission with its impact multiplier, set the combo to 0. Well, I typically wouldn't do something like this. I just check or I'd have a discrete method for register word miss, register character miss. I kind of like this. It keeps it a little more systemic. If I want to plug in other elements into my rhythm system later, they can go directly into this process rhythm input, and then if it's got a significant impact multiplier of 1 or 2 or something, and it's sent with an offbeat timing, then we can register as a miss. I kind of like that. Seems interesting. So, where was I in Bezi changes? Looking at the score manager. Yeah, I like these changes. They seem pretty good. But overall, we've got a bunch of changes now and we can accept them. So remember in GitHub we only had one change here. Now we have these other 5 files we edited, and it'll show it to you discreetly. It's got really nice features, all that stuff. Sometimes I just like switching context and looking at it in a different diff editor like GitHub Desktop. I find like switching between dark modes and light modes of things can actually help with eye strain and focus and like glossing over details. If you're looking at it in 2 color paths, you're actually much more likely to pick up on little details you might have otherwise missed. If I could tell Bezi, hey, I do actually like all of these changes, you can go ahead and implement all of them. What it does is it basically just saves the state. It kind of releases from the editor a bit so that, hey, I can go make changes. Now, I don't know if you could go and edit fixes like hot before doing that. I think I did that once and it overrid it, so you do have to be kind of careful and make sure you like accept your changes and then say, hey, I'm going to move on from the agentic AI workflow and do something a little manually. So here we can see we have an error. We have a duplicate definition for timing quality. So where is it? Where is it being duplicated? It's got 58 usages, but also usages were not found. Love that. So we could ask Bezi maybe, but I can also search in my IDE here. So I'll just search. I can search in files, right? And I could search timing quality. That'll show me files, but I want to search text, right? So public timing quality, not exactly what we want. Public enum timing quality. Looks good. Aha, look at this. So over here, showmanship meter CS, line 132, we define an enum timing quality. So you see, even though Bezi's great and it's plugged into all the context, earlier when it ran and it had that instruction, right, that said, hey, I need to look for the timing quality enum to understand the full system. It had looked in a bunch of scripts. All of these ones here that we see as these little buttons, I was looking at all these. But that timing quality logic, which no doubt at that state when we were editing was referenced in one of these scripts, didn't live somewhere that it was currently referencing. It lived in this showmanship meter. So Bezi said, hey, I need to create this unit because it doesn't exist. Right, finding timing quality enum, and it didn't find it, so it created it right here. This is why a single use case is really important, especially as we're hoping and looking to leverage these AI tools, right? Because this is a single unit, but that unit, it was baked over here into this class. And so even though Bezi is so smart and plugged into our Unity instance and all the context, and sort of like my IDE, right? We're able to find all of the uses, even though we can see even IDEs break. If we're not participating in these solid principles, we're not going to get great results from our AI, because our AI is treating these files like units. It's trying to look at them and extract the context it needs. It's not actually compiling or operating on them. It might be able to save it and then look at the compiler messages, but that's still, again, it's passing back and forth context. It's not going to be fully operative like you yourself, the engineer. So timing quality over here, we don't need it. We have another one. We compare, this is perfect, good, and offbeat. This one has perfect, good, offbeat, and wrong. I kind of like that a little better. So if I wanted to still have like, it's offbeat, but it's not necessarily wrong, and I want to do that over where we're actually using it, I'll show you how we can do it quickly. So I'm gonna get rid of that. So boom, we are changed showmanship meter. Timing quality is all good. Now we could get a full compile and get some other errors, but we no longer have this, hey, you have duplicate definitions. So I want to have a wrong here, right? So the thing is, offbeat currently in our systems is sort of handling the wrong responsibility, right? So I wonder we can actually, yeah, we can see it being used and go back. Where was, yeah. Here it's being used as wrong. So I don't necessarily want it to be used that way. I want to have something between good and wrong. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to rename this element. So if we do F2 rename, it allows us to rename it. And what's cool is we can change it everywhere it appears. So I'm also going to use the JetBrains feature to change it in any comments or string literals where it's used, just in case. We're going to change it from offbeat to wrong. Now, if we go over to manager, you can see, hey, timing quality is now wrong. Boom, I didn't have to do anything. I didn't have to, go waste an AI credit for a simple change. I wanted something to look a little different, so I told my IDE, hey, everywhere this identifier appears, change it. This is generally good practice. And now I could go back and add offbeat. And now I have my granularity I wanted. I can go back here, and when I say I use Copilot, this is what I use Copilot for. So I have a new, variation of this that I want to use to add more granularity, and I already have existing logic, so I could go write it myself and do all that stuff. But I don't necessarily want to, right? Like all this logic's already here. Why do I have to think about it to do it? So what I could do is add my timing quality offbeat, and for some reason it did wrong. Offbeat. Now Copilot should activate. Sometimes it doesn't. I hit Alt/. It's freaking out. So if we do comment, we could say, and here it's suggesting some mechanics for me, right? It's trying to read into what it thinks my intention is. So no combo change, but could add minor penalty if desired. It's not necessarily what I want. So I just want to say, add a tiny boost to the combo for offbeat inputs. And then, come on. So you see, sometimes you have to fight with Copilot because its UX is built so weird. It's like it's an inline tool and suggestion tool, but even its hotkey for give me a suggestion doesn't work all the time. So I'm gonna try and yell at it specifically here. So I go to Tools, GitHub Copilot, show completion. This is Alt/ when I was typing and it wasn't doing it. But now I go and press the thing discreetly, and this finally happened. This is why I like tools like Bezi, is because they've thought very carefully about the user experience versus GitHub Copilot, which I'll be honest, I feel like the user experience was kind of an afterthought, which is weird for it being a Copilot. But I hit tab, now I have it by 10. I don't really like that. I'm going to do 1 just for myself, just to make it feel really small. Maybe I'll do a little more. That's not fair. Why would you multiply by 1? That's stupid. We'll do 2. Now I've got something that I feel happy about for offbeat inputs, and we can handle them differently. I don't think our, let's see, where we're processing the rhythm inputs and evaluating our timing. Yeah, see here, we need to go in. So beat tolerance, right? That's a good value. What we want is now an offbeat tolerance, just so we have a little more range for mistakes. That still feels like the game can move along and not feel stuck or too difficult as a rhythm game. So jumping down to evaluating our timing input, we need another else if here for offbeat tolerance. Now, offbeat tolerance, it's its own value. Obviously, it's bigger here than beat tolerance, and that's fine. I like, we could handle it a little differently. I think this is okay. Do you think there's a way where we could, oh yeah, no, it would have to be a static value for us to control it in the declaration like that. No, this is fine. Can we use a range value? So a range of beat tolerance. Now, this is still a static context. That would be nice though, wouldn't it? Anyways, no need. It's a game jam game. I know to keep my off-beat tolerance higher than beat tolerance. If I even wanted to, I could add a tooltip here. So you see Copilot suggested a tooltip. For off-beats, means 30% of the beat interval. That's not what it means, I don't think. I believe this is literal time that we're measuring with beat tolerance over here in evaluate timing input. Yeah, that's literal time. So we've got, say, tolerance for off beats in literal time as you know, not contextual to standard beat tolerance. That way I know if I am going to be using this, it's just a little note for myself. Hey, off-beat tolerance needs to be bigger than beat tolerance, because otherwise the way I'm going to write this doesn't make sense. So off-beat tolerance is bigger than beat tolerance, that sort of thing. Now, we could reduce redundancy probably by inversing this, because we know there's a way we could reduce the redundancy in the if statements here by starting from the top bottom down. But whenever I catch myself like looking at a pattern like this and being like, I don't like how this looks and I feel like this could be more optimized, it's a really good call to stop and say like, wait a minute, what am I actually trying to do with my time? Am I actually pushing my work forward by obsessing over this minor detail? And a lot of times the answer is no. Sometimes, yeah. Sometimes you're like, hey, this will be an important thing to optimize early. But like, if this really becomes a problem later, I can always come back to it and change it later. For now, it's such a small unit of thing, and I believe this is the way I want it to work. So yeah, even though this pattern could be better, it could be more readable, it could be more optimized, it doesn't really matter to me. What matters is that the logic that I need for now is there, and I could keep moving on. But cool. We've kind of walked through a bunch of the changes. We've still got errors, so let's figure out that stuff. Obviously we got rid of rhythm bonus in the display. So save that, have Unity compile. All right, awesome. So this is a method we changed. It no longer takes in the rhythm multiplier, so we could just pass in our final score. Now, again, we talked about with the AI model, Bezi, that the multiplier system was supposed to be unified, but it looks like drink manager didn't change, and we can probably confirm in the Bezi changes. So you'll see, like, I've been doing a bunch of changes in my GitHub track zip, but I don't remember what Bezi did. What's nice about Bezi is you can actually see when you accepted the changes, what changes were they and what files. So I see, yeah, drink manager did change, but only this changed. So where we actually go and pass the base score, we're still including this rhythm modifier. So we're at a good point here,
because we fixed that error. And we have no more errors, so we're at a good point here to address this concern we've identified. So you go, just refresh myself on the specific problem. We're still calculating a score with the rhythm boziness in the drink manager. So I need to get the context and talk to Bezi about it. And tell Bezi, hey, in drink manager, we are still calculating multipliers at the top of the base score and pass in. This is happening in the complete drink method. This means we haven't, and I can go reference, it's kind of word tokens here for what this means. So we haven't fully unified our multiplier system. We need to take out the multiplier / scoring elements from drink manager, properly nest them under. We're gonna do score manager. So, hey, drink manager, we're still calculating multipliers. This is happening with the drink method. Since we haven't fully set up our multiplier system, we need to take out the multiplier scoring elements from drink manager and properly nest them under that. After we complete that, please do an audit of the scoring system. Make sure we are abiding by solid, and give me a, we're going to ask it for a hypothesis on how it's working. Again, like AI isn't necessarily going to tell you this is exactly how it's working, but we can ask it to draw a flowchart or to map it out for us. So we're going to ask it to give me a summary of how the scoring system works mechanically and code-wise. So cool, we're gonna run this flow. So while this is running, did anyone have any questions, anything they wanted to see about the game? I think there's some art needs that I still have. What was it art-wise that I wanted? Oh, I have a new drink to import. Someone wanted an Easter egg. Oh yeah, there's prefab edits I still want to do here. Some of the templates we're gonna do. I think art-wise we might actually be okay. Didn't need anything too fancy. We've got paddlers, lanes, the text will be on. Oh no, Bezi finished. Nice. Yeah, I don't think there's any other art needs that are popping up at this exact moment, so I think we're good. Looking at our Bezi output, so oh, it's still running. Well, we have a prompt, and it's saying, yes, multiplier, still happening in drinks. Let me take it out. This looks good. 2 additions, 65 subtractions. So it got rid of a lot of the rhythm content. It's no longer subscribing to the rhythm manager. Okay. It doesn't have its own window. Very good. So when our drink manager gets a type word, checks to see if it's a complete drink. Otherwise, it tries to add it as an ingredient. Cool. I think I want to get rid of drink names as completions and just do shorthand ingredients. I haven't gotten quite to testing that gameplay to see if I want to go that direction or not. So, complete drink. We've got calculate score with the rhythm bonus. Let score manager handle all scoring. So, get a base score. What is? So, see, I can't see this line all the way. There we go. There we go. I got it. So, oh, so this is giving you less score if you used a shortcut. That's an interesting idea from the AI. Let's go with it for now. I think that's an actually interesting trade-off, because potentially it gives you more points for typing longer, less points for doing it quickly. But part of doing it quickly is can kind of control elements more, you get faster, so I think like part of the skill of the game reinforces that it's not just typing it out, but it keeps typing it out as a positive, like you score basically double. But as you get more patrons, you're expected to use the shorthands so that you can get people quicker. Okay, I love this suggestion. This is very inspirational for kind of modifying the base score that we pass with whether or not we used a shortcut. Cool, so that's just gonna hand over the responsibility to the score manager as just passing the base score. Excellent. Yes, no more rhythm multiplier, that's good. Rhythm manager has some changes, let's check out these. We've got rid of the impact multiplier. Oh, no, it's just passed in statically, I see. Okay, so forward to drink manager. So this is what activates that type word method. Which is responsible for adding it as an ingredient or completing the drink, which would then score and send it. Excellent, excellent. So, the life cycle is our input goes and tells the rhythm manager, and when we submit an input, it goes back over to the rhythm manager, and the rhythm manager is handling the relationship to the actual drink manager. So inputs don't ever talk directly to our drink manager system. They're being filtered through the rhythm system, which I think is perfect, ideal. It's exactly what I wanted to see. So, process rhythm input. It said don't use 2, use 10 for offbeats. It's funny, it's still battling me here. In fact, it upped good beats as well. Interesting that it did this little multiplier. So processing the rhythm input, our base input is going to be timing. What's going on? Base input points. Yes, and then final points, we're going to multiply it and add rhythm points to our score manager. Okay. I want to understand this rhythm points on the score manager. So this is not calculate rhythm points, this is add rhythm points. I guess this is the operation that. Yeah, so this logic seems duplicated. This is used once. Oh. Okay. So it's used as part of this add rhythm points method. So once we've got our impact multiplier added from our rhythm, and all of that, and we're adding rhythm points. This is calculating it based upon the timing. But we're already doing that. The timing is setting the value. So this is, again, some AI redundancy, where you need to be careful with AI, right? It's like now we're still back to calculating points. You can see this rhythm manager is calculating points. It's not necessarily what we want. We want the score manager to be responsible for it. So probably gonna have to go and fix that. So this says score manager to handle rhythm input scoring properly. Changed it. It doesn't have this add to combo anymore. We use add rhythm points. Timing quality was wrong. We reset the combo, which I'm not sure I completely like how that's handling. Again, when we're over here. The scrolling is getting to me. No. It's this method. Process rhythm input. Process rhythm input here. I mean, a timing quality already determines our base points, which feels weird with an over in scoring. Re-multiplying it with the same timing value. It's just going to produce dynamically calculated static results, which is not what we want. So, yeah. When it registers complete, it takes the score. So I'm fine with accepting these changes, and overall I like it. There's some nitpicking with our drink manager still being responsible for scoring. I'm going to tell it that was some decent progress. However, we still are not really abiding by solid. So our drink manager is now doing scoring calculations, or is that our rhythm manager? Yeah, it's our rhythm manager that is doing scoring calculation. So and again, remember I want to pass it the exact token so it knows what I'm talking about. So our rhythm manager is now doing scoring calculations, and in fact, its operation with the score manager is going to dynamically calculate static results. As we are determining the base points and multipliers used, there we go. Spelling errors all over the place. Jeez. Multipliers, base points, and multipliers used by the timing quality parameter. I want you to deeply evaluate our scoring system identify all current factors and variables. We'll actually say constants and variables because I wanted to do a math focus. In play in our scoring equation. Then I want you to trim out anything that shouldn't be there. From my understanding, it should be a drink earns a certain amount of base points. If you used shortcuts, the base point value is cut in half. What else did I want as part of my equation? We wanted, so like your rhythmic performance should granularly update your multiplier. So ideally, or well, not ideally, what I'm trying to figure out and say is your rhythmic performance should granularly update your multiplier, and there shouldn't be any other multipliers in the equation. There shouldn't be any other multipliers in the equation. The rhythmic performance itself should be tracked via word and character submissions and their submission quality. Okay, I think I captured the equation I want pretty well. It's pretty simple in my head. Like, we have a base points, could get cut in half, and then we just have a multiplier. We're not going crazy here. It should be fairly simple. I think what's happening in the system is that it's created two different kinds of multipliers. One is like a base and one is a rhythmic. So I might as well put that in the instructions. I am concerned that the code base may have a sense of two different multipliers. We really only need the rhythm-driven multiplier. Okay. Let's see how this agentic workflow goes. And yeah, thank you, Julian, Fatal Break, Bert Lerds, Herdman, I hope I'm saying that name right, for tuning in here and hanging out. Probably only going to run for another 15 to 30 minutes here before I run out of here and focus on dinner or something. And try to grind out the rest of this, because I actually don't have very long left, so I need to see about getting this playable as soon as possible, because if I take a break for dinner, I'll probably just have a couple hours, and this time I've spent Twitch streaming has been a little slower, because I'm talking about the agentic workflow and showing what I'm doing, and also kind of ideating gameplay a little bit. The scoring system got rehashed in a big refactorated last night, and apparently it didn't get rehashed super well, so cleaning it out. So yes, so it's constants, rhythm manager, score manager. Yeah, doing score calculations, duplicate point calculations. Drink manager is cleanly handling this part of the equation. Yes, that's what I thought. So yeah, rhythm manager shouldn't be doing any scoring or point calculation. Adding new time and quantities requires changes in multiple places, and components are highly coupled. So it took out. Hey, it took out that stuff that we didn't need. So now, rhythm manager. This is rhythm manager I'm looking at. Crazy. I need more caffeine. I'm starting to not fully read my identifiers here. This passes processing the rhythmic input and its impact on score over to the score manager. Oh, no. Okay, so this is instead of passing character multiplier. Oh, we have an enum here. That's what is happening. Sorry, it kept moving, so a little confused. So, show rhythm feedback. Cool. We had wanted that as a feature. Rhythm input, character words. Perfect. This is the open closed and dependency inversion I was talking about. So it's making it more extensible in the future if we have other rhythm driven inputs. So our rhythm scoring constants. Perfect timing points, good timing points, offbeat, character impact multiplier, combo multiplier rate, max multiplier. Perfect. So final architecture. Beat timing evaluation only. The score manager does all scoring, combo tracking, and multiplier calculations. Perfect. Our drink manager does drink and speed matching only. So I don't think it handles the... Oh no, they didn't change it. They left drink manager as is, I believe. Oh no, we did. So... Oh, is this changed in the entire project? Get that. Okay, so this isn't changed in the last message. I think this is... Oh, wait, no, is it? Apparently, if I'm understanding correctly, this was a part of the last suite of changes, and or maybe not. I'm not too sure. Considering these are closed, I think this might have been from the previous task.
Just excited.
Oh no, here it is. Nope, I'm crazy. Still learning Bezi, still trying to navigate around this interface. So yeah, it looks like these were from the previous instruction, not the latest prompt. It's these three changes. This lists all of the task changes, not just the latest prompt. Have I tried viewing the code in Canvas? No, is that a Bezi feature? Can I ask it to like view it in Canvas? Thanks to UIB for the question. I'd love to know more about this Canvas feature. Maybe I'll try it out in a second here. Why do we have constants if we're not using? That's a little weird. Okay. Because we're back in time. I keep scrolling up too high. Okay. These three files. Yes. We have the rhythm change we were looking at. Score manager. Score manager is processing the rhythm input. We're getting these inputs. Impact timer, final points. Okay. Yes, perfect. It's not just wrong, it's also a word type, then we'll reset the combo. This is looking great. So, yes, perfect timing points, offbeat points, those are the constants being used. This is great, so I think we can accept those changes. Oh, okay. Yeah. So I was just seeing. Cool. I think it can do flowcharts. Let's see. Let's try it. Let's try a new task. So I'm gonna ask. I think it could do this. I'm not actually sure. Can you tell me about the life cycle of player input and how that gets translated through various scripts all the way to submitting a full word as an ingredient for a target drink. So I'm asking it about the life cycle, and what I'm doing right now is it's gonna respond in text, I think, and should be able to ask it after to like generate it as a flowchart. Should be pretty cool. So. Oh, by Canvas, I think it's like that's what ChatGPT calls the code edit feature, right? Yeah, okay. So life cycle, blah blah blah. Gather some context. Look for the core game logic. I wish sometimes you could inspect some of the results from the like little agent task it does. It's analyzing the core system, so we get the input capture method. Do the rhythm evaluation. Yeah, typing on the beat, everything goes through the rhythm system. And we do this word submission process where we evaluate the timing of the word submission, we forward it to the drink manager, and do score processing. Yep. Cool. Hey, it even talked about the drink unlocking system, so they could only make drinks by typing individual ingredients. Once a drink is successfully made, it can be unlocked for future shortcut access. Love this. Scoring integration. This seems all good. Lane service system is perfect. Cool, awesome. I'm gonna ask it, can you do this, or can you map this into a flowchart? Maybe it'll say no. I've not asked Bezi to do this yet. So let's see. No, not bad. Okay, it's doing it via text. Cool. Oh, this is actually very helpful because it's showing kind of the synchronicity of certain operations. I think this is pretty cool. And this looks complicated. I would not have whiteboarded it out like this myself. Maybe it seems really cool. I want to get this output already. Give it to me. Faster, Bezi, faster. Okay, I can't see this. Oh, expand. Okay, this is cool. Let's check this out. So, handle character input, submit current word, serve the drink to lane, clear current word. Okay, so this is interesting, right? This occurs to me as probably a breakdown. Like the input manager, once we submit a current word. Oh, well, that doesn't necessarily serve the drink. But I still think this should be handled by the drink manager. So let's check this out. Let's walk through this life cycle ourselves. Now we don't know that this is 100% correct, but what's nice about this is it's visual, and it gives us the ability to walk through it visually and then go and look at the code and verify, does it meet this specification. We handle character input, we add it to our current word, blah blah blah. We're evaluating the time input, that processing of the rhythm input goes to the scoring manager. Now when we submit a current word, it also goes to the rhythm manager here. That's going to process the rhythm input. Now, okay, so word submission comes from the rhythm manager here, so it doesn't draw this. This line is really weird. I don't know what's going on here. But if we follow submitting or serving the drink to the lane, this function in our code, you can see it kind of comes down here to this word submission. So rhythm manager will say on word submitted. That's what happens from the input manager after it processes the rhythm. It'll evaluate the timing. Again, our rhythm manager was doing that, and it'll forward it to the drink manager. So we know where that's happening. Can actually trace it down. So when we submit an actual word, so submit current word from player input, track it down. Submit current word. So this one goes to rhythm manager on words submitted, and yes, rhythm manager is indeed telling, hey, drink manager, type your word. So type word here is called via rhythm manager. When we get in there, we have this little logic. So is it a complete drink? No, it's an ingredient. And see if the recipe is complete. If we complete the drink, we'll create it and serve it. I think maybe what this is trying to say is in the logic. Let's see if this exists. Yeah, there's no method here that it matches serve drink to lane. So I'm gonna do that functionality automatically. I'm not worried about the player specifically handling it. If they completed a drink, the drink will get served to the lane. So, complete drink, creates drinks, awards points, unlocks. Very cool. So drink was ready. This has a lane service system. So this is saying there's this method. Let's verify that this doesn't exist. I'm pretty sure it doesn't. Oh my gosh, it does. I totally missed it when I was scrolling through this. Okay, so this is trying to serve it to a lane. I don't care about doing that. So what's useful about sometimes doing things visually over all in code is you can uncover little things like this, right? So, you know, I had a belief that a drink would just get served to whatever lane the player's at, but I don't think, you know, I've discreetly had that conversation with AI. I don't think it's been built into the systems. So it came up with this lane service system. So this is a really interesting ask for Bezi. Let's see how well it can handle this. So you could say, this is interesting. On the lane service system, I don't want the player to specify a lane. When they complete a drink, it should go into the specific lane that the player is positioned at. I like the idea that the number row could be used to instantly switch between target lanes, but also using arrow keys should move the player through the lanes. Finally, so like when you send a drink into a lane, you should check if any patron in that lane wants the drink, then it sends it to the closest targeted patron. This should happen all automatically once you complete all of the recipe items, or shorthand a drink. Finally, what did I want to say? Lane service system, the lane deploys automatically. Oh yeah, I had a thought of, well, in this case, if you
send a drink or make a drink on a lane and no patron wants it, what do you do?
That's all right.
Typically at a bar, if you make a drink and no one wants it, or you make a mistake with it or whatever, you pour it out. So I think that'd be a good opportunity to turn that into like negative points. So let's have it, if you make a drink and it doesn't match a patron in the lane, you lose points and the drink is poured out. It won't make you lose your multiplier. I think that might be a little too harsh. I mean, you're already losing points from submitting and wasting your time doing a drink that wasn't right. So I think it's punishment enough. It doesn't need to affect your multiplier. I'll actually add that here. I think it shouldn't count toward losing your multiplier. Making a wrong drink is punishing enough. Just so that way the AI will be on the same page with me. Finally here, I think we kind of need it to give it a call to action and tell it to let's refactor for this new drink servicing mechanism. And is there anything else I want to throw in there? Pretty sure we're good. Looking at this chart again. Lane selection, yeah, sends it. Cool. So use drinks, patrons automatically with the recipes. Cool. I think that's all we needed. Oh, what I was gonna do for proceeding forward was commit in GitHub, because we have a lot of changes here, and I want to make sure we keep them safe. So just looking over the changes that we've done, we've got really a lot of solid refactoring and responsibility. So I think that's how I'm gonna want to just track it for myself. So let's say refactored for single responsibility. And we can commit, push that for now. Okay, so now when I go kick off Bezi, my Git is clean and fresh, so we'll be able to easier confirm and deny changes. So let's see, we got 5 hours, oh no. We're needing the speed of this really along. I'm gonna have to, I think I'm probably gonna wrap the stream up in 10 to 15 minutes here, but I think after the stream, after carrying this forward, I've got to finish my mission of what I originally started on before I started demoing Bezi and fixing up the scripts, and that's tie the remaining attributes in my game manager, and then add a couple of missing features that I want. There's I want a display of the recipe list next to the patron, so you know how many items go into it and like which ones you've discovered, and if you have discovered them, show you the shortcut for that recipe. And then if you know the shortcut for the drink or the shortcut for the recipe, you can faster produce drinks. So there's some of that needs to go on. There's some simple animations and effects I wanted to do, as well as some SFX. So once that's in, once I've confirmed that my refactoring hasn't completely broken gameplay and we're still able to play, it should be good. So what was this change it gave us here? Player position manager. First, let's create the player position manager. Yeah, this is awesome. This wasn't here before, so number of lane, I mean, I wish it would have picked up on the lane manager here for that, but it's no biggie.
cool. This has all the logic I think I need from it. Handle lane switching. Perfect. That is a pretty cool script. On lane changed. What other systems? Keep that in mind. Animate to lane change. Target lane. So it's got a little animated movement. I'll be excited to see what that looks like. Yeah, we took lane selection out of the Tapper input manager. Perfect. There's no more serving drinks to lanes logic. Perfect. It seems like it tried to redo changes on that several times. Let's just inspect Tapper input manager and make sure it's good. So yeah, no more of that. No more lane keys. It still has. Yeah, it says it's deprecated. Is it used? No, it's not used, and it's actually causing problems. But that's fine. It's fine. It's not an issue. We can indeed accept these changes. These changes are palatable. I'll hit accept, and then it saves and applies it. I'll go over. I'll get rid of this method I don't care about anymore because it's not used, and I don't plan to use it. And hopefully that should fix all of the errors. Now I have this cool player position manager, so let's go ahead and add that. Now the reason I keep all of my scripts on a giant pool manager script is because, hey, these are all gameplay stuff. I don't want to have to hunt through my hierarchy to find scripts that I need. And if these need to manipulate specific game objects, they should hold references to those specific game objects so that most of my scripts, anything I need to do, really lives in an easy place to find. So we actually do have a player indicator, and it is this tender game object. So very cool. Don't know why current lane display is necessary. I mean, you see where the player is, so I'm going to do what I did at the beginning and show you all how I deal with attributes that I don't like. So I'll just go over to current lane display and delete it. And then wherever that's used, see this update lane display. I don't need this method anymore. Player themselves are lane displays. So get rid of that and that player. Cool. Technically, we also don't need lane highlights then, because you see where you're at. Actually, I think that only obfuscates the gameplay. It's not actually going to help the player any more than seeing where their player character is. So, getting rid of those pesky lane highlights that I need. Cool. And I guess not talked a lot about with Bezi, right? But part of it, like suggesting and doing all this stuff as separate from like the GitHub Codex workflow is like, I don't have to commit these things into my Git tree. If it generates a file, I can change it as much as I want before I start committing it into my Git history and Git flow. So I think it gives you a lot more authority over the code that enters your Git flow versus the OpenAI ChatGPT Codex tool. Just you can't not get its PRs. Like you have to start with its code as a base, which means its code is always getting into your Git flow. I do like that Bezi is separate and that I could control my Git flow directly. Probably a nitpick, but I think it's useful and nice. So cool. I've got my scripting done. Oh my gosh, I got my player position manager. I've got the serving drinks the right way. I've not tested any of it because I still need to set stuff up. So let me see if I can take a few minutes here and set stuff up. So I do actually have a drink display. Now, why is it looking at it as a text mesh UI? What is this doing? Oh, so this tells you about the current drink that's ahead. This is not necessarily telling you information about the drink. So again, I'm going to do my little trick just to make sure I'm seeing it all in the right places. So I delete it, and yeah, it's just handled here in this update current drink display. I actually like this idea. I like that we're giving the player some indication of a drink's ready. Oh, hold up. If we have a drink name, we say we're ready to mix this. And if we have this, doesn't feel like it makes a lot of sense actually. I kind of like the idea of what it was doing, but I think it's actually creating redundancy between our existing display and I thought maybe what this was like some indicator of how much you've completed it, but I'm gonna have that anyway when I add the markup highlighting of ingredients. So then we can get rid of this functionality here because I don't need this or these attributes. So get rid of that and get rid of this method that I don't need. And get rid of everywhere that it's called. Now, the issue is we do actually need to update that display. So when we're looking at our drink card, you know, he's got to compile over here. When we're looking at our drink card, this has drink info display, and we do want this to display. So I'm actually going to go back to our drink manager, because the logic was mostly there for what we needed. I'm going to reset this. Now, I don't care about it being Text Mesh Pro. I have my own class, drink info display. Now, this had one other usage before, which was itself in its own singleton pattern. So now we're actually using it. Where we go down and set it doesn't make any sense. So this I'm catching a whiff of duplicate logic, right? Because in here in drink info display, it has its own method for determining the closest patron. So again, single responsibility tells us, hey, this class shouldn't be doing this. This class is only responsible for displaying the info. It doesn't need to know kind of who the next patron is. If anything, our drink manager should handle that, or something else should. So again, there's a good opportunity to kick in Bezi and ask it for some help. So I'm gonna do this as a final prompt here. So let's start a new task. And what do we got here? Drink info display. So I'm gonna tell it in drink info display. Hey, come back. Oh, in drink info display. We have some functionality for determining the closest / next patron in a given lane. This responsibility seems like it should belong inside another class. We should make it so that I might actually want to finish the refactoring I was doing with the drink manager, but our Drink manager tells the drink info display to update and passes along the target drink to display. Epic. I think something that'll be important will be figuring out if I'll allow you to make drinks that are not for the next immediate patron. I think I'll want to allow that, but it's a little bit complexity and it's a little bit of a niche mechanics. I'm not too worried about it right now. What I do want to do is make sure I finish my part of updating Drink Manager. So instead of doing all that, I want to call on our. Oh yeah, perfect. This is pretty much what I wanted. Of show drink info or clear display. So Copilot came up with this idea of the clear display method. It doesn't exist, but I bet Copilot will generate a pretty good one. So I can go over to my drink display class and say, yeah, clear drink info. Boom. There's this method now generated, and we want it to be called clear display because that's what we're using. Boom, now it's got it. So we should be good here. Jump back over to Bezi. We're recompiling real quick. Oh no, I lost my prompt. No, Bezi, why would you do this? Oh nice, my prompt is back. Wow, Bezi, that's amazing. I'm so glad I didn't lose my prompt. I swear, that's like one of the worst things with ChatGPT is like your just prompt disappears for no good reason. You're like, oh wait, I don't remember all of the elements I had written into that. Damn it. It feels like your work disappears for a stupid reason. You're like, why am I using AI in the first place? I can't believe it did this to me. Okay, so we're talking about Drink Manager telling the info to display. Yes, so I think we need to give it a call to action here because now we have it saying we have this functionality that we don't want to use. Actually, it looks like this is broken, so I'm going to want to copy this and refresh Bezi. It didn't seem very happy. And yeah, sometimes Bezi's like this, where it's like, it's not, like, it says it's connected. The connection isn't working, so I'll like target a different project, come back, boom, here it is. Ah, now the editing is working again, so I can fix up these tags. Alright, back to square one. So we have some functionality. This should belong in another class. We should make it so the drink manager passes it. I think that's pretty clear. I don't think we need to do anything else, so I'll tell Bezi to go and do it. Hey, thanks for joining Alphacina. I hope I'm saying that correctly. You're joining in here at the tail end. I'm going to be wrapping up soon and doing like a final task with Bezi before I take a break and then try to get my jam in before submission in before the end of the jam. Turning into a tight deadline here. I was actually really enjoying like demoing Bezi here in the live, so it wasn't necessarily like nose to the grindstone, get stuff done, as I otherwise typically would be if I'm game jamming like this. Okay, so now it came up with this idea of a target patron display. Like it duplicated the attribute we already had. So this is an example of a not good Bezi input. I don't know what it's doing there. Let's keep tuned in, right?
so over here in Drink Manager, yeah, I don't know why it duplicated that attribute because we're still using the original one. So this would be an example of an output at thumbs down, right? Because up here we see it. We were asking it to, yeah, add the functionality to the Drink Manager, but we already had some of it propped in, and it seems to be confused between this target patron and current drink when this should be the same thing. It looks like it did the drink info display more or less correctly. So we now have the update display, pass in the drink data. So that seems good. Oh, it unified the hide drink info and clear display methods. So I like its changes for drink info display. That's what we wanted, right? Was to remove that functionality, but I don't like how it approached Drink Manager at all. I'm gonna try this for the first time in Bezi. We're gonna say no to this change, say yes to this one. And so, yeah, our Drink Manager is still as is. Our drink info display is the unified method. Yeah, no more patron targeting stuff. That was the show info. Okay, so how do I break the story to Bezi here? So, in your previous attempt to add the drink info display interoperability to the Drink Manager, you added a target patron display attribute when there was already and remember here, we want to use tags. We don't want to just do it semantically. So when we say Drink Manager, we want to be very specific in the Drink Manager file. So we added the target patron display when there was already a current drink display. Target patron / target drink and current patron / current drink are the same things. Hopefully that should be enough. No, a Unity connection is required. My prompt was deleted. No, I didn't realize we had disconnected from Unity. Come on, Unity. And we're back. Oh man. Control Z is amazing. Wow, look at Bezi. This is so superior to ChatGPT. Look at that. I controlled Z. My prompt is back. I was so defeated a second ago. Like, I just need to rethink all that and type all that out again. But no, Bezi's got my back. Love that. Pretty close to just live coding with UE. Yeah, I'm sure it is. I mean, a lot of like what I'm doing here is pretty similar workflow to like what I would do with ChatGPT. I do think the workflow is much faster though, because I'm not having to like go and grab the context myself every time. I'm not having to go and copy and paste every result and output. And generally, I think like I'm getting lots of good feedback. I have not touched Unreal in quite a while though, so I'm not sure if live coding is like a blueprints feature or a new feature that Unreal has for AI or anything. I know Unity has their own Gemini AI tool as well, but it's nothing like Bezi. I mean, Bezi's far superior to the Unity Gemini. Okay, so what do we got going on here? It made changes to Drink So, okay, so it adds this current target patron. That's interesting. It's absolutely dumb that it's running this in the update method. That makes it's just like a really poor assumption of how it should handle this. So we can fix that, but for now, we'll assume this is what we want. It gives us this method, even if it's not activating the method correctly. This is fine. So find the closest patron to the bar in any line. This is using a distance calculation that's completely awful. So we're gonna give it some more context and tell it specifically how we want it to update, because this is, I mean, that's not useful. I'm sure it would work, but systemically it's begging for problems, so we're not asking for that. Current drink display update. So that part seems right, but I don't like these changes overall, so we're gonna tell it no. And I'm gonna tell it, I don't like how you attempted to integrate finding the next target patron. This is all data-based, and we should be able to find the next queued patron without any need for spatial analysis. And what I mean by spatial analysis here is our distance calculation, right? So just to make sure I'm not talking too high level for the AI, I'll put that in quotes. So the distance calculation. Also, we do not need to continuously update the target patron every frame. That's absolutely awful. We don't want to do big operations, especially things like calculation every frame. We can avoid that. We know discretely when we should update the target patron. This either happens upon drink completion, meaning we've potentially served the next target patron, and so they are no longer active. Upon lane switch, or for whatever other discrete lane switching or drink completion, such as a failed patron. Although I think that should end the game, so I'll note that. But I think that should end the game. No. Or no, that detracts points, I think. I don't think it ends the game. Maybe it does. So I'll leave that note in there. I forgot what I wanted there. I believe actually it should end the game, because the idea was that you're supposed to serve everyone and your points is your performance, and you keep going until you fail to serve a patron. So that should be good. There shouldn't be any other events where we would need to update the patron. So let's try again with editing the drink manager. Ensure it talks to the relevant data elements to find the patron, such as our player position manager, our lane manager. What other scripts would we possibly want to have it yell at? Project, drink collection, game manager shouldn't. Oh no, this is registering patrons, so we might need game manager. Cool, let's do that. So, game manager. Cool. All right. Yes, you're absolutely right. Calculating things and update every frame is wasteful and unnecessary. Okay, so it's putting some filler code in there for now. We have this update target patron, and we're only caring to update the display if the patron actually changed. We can change it. Wait. That's redundant. It should have just renamed the method if it is just gonna make it redirect to that method, but that's fine, whatever, we can make that change ourselves. Make sure the player position manager notifies the drink manager upon lane change. Cool. The game manager needs to notify the drink manager when patrons arrive or leave. Okay. So on lane change, I want to look at this method. So this just updates the target patron, which, where is that method? Okay, I think we could be a little more discreet and purposeful with checking for updating the target patron. Like, I don't think when we always add a patron we'll need to check, but I think it's covered all of the edge cases. And let me go through the changes and make sure I'm not missing anything and have accounted for anything, or have identified anything we want to change. So this is fine. I want to get rid of this method or just rename it if that's how it's going to be. So this looks fine. Drink info display. Oh, that already changed in the past. That's not pending change. Okay. Player position manager notifies the drink manager. The game manager over here. Cool. Simple stuff. So I think that is good. Okay, so now I think if I've got my ducks in a row right, I could start associating things here in the editor. So we have the drink display. This actually needs to map to all of its text mesh pros here. So add the color. This is the actual. We don't have it handling the images yet, so we'll need to add that in a little bit. We have two image properties here. Which one is the actual? This is background. And this is drink image. I want to add that to my drink info display so I don't forget it, because it's really important. It's not just the drink color display, but the drink image. And we can add it here. Cool, so now it should update when we show drink info, and we'll also need it to unrender. Nice. So, jumping back. Drink image. Cool. Alright. We don't displaying to the user in the same. Well, we'll come back to that. I think commenting it out will be better than deleting its relevant info. In case we come back to it, so. Ingredients, fun fact, origin, description, and name. Excellent. Drink info display looks good. Back over to our flow manager. We don't have these effects yet, and I don't have animations either. These are triggered and used. Oh, but they have no checks. Okay. I think we could proceed without the trick effects. So it seems good. Maybe we're ready to test some stuff and see if our AI scripting has veered from reality. So, yeah, we're missing the letter block. We could see our guy here didn't place correctly, so a few things to address. Let's do a commit. I'm gonna do something that I usually do called dirty commit, and it just keeps it as a way to keep moving forward. So jumping back in. Our player position, this isn't handling things right. How is it trying to handle our actually moving of the player indicator? So let's get lane position. Yeah, I don't know why it's assuming lanes are like that. So what we're gonna do for our lanes, similar to, well, we could do an offset from the lane ending object. That seems smart. So, I don't particularly feel like scripting it myself, so I'll ask Bezi to do it real quick. So, we can go here on the player positioning manager and say, this currently guesstimates lane positions, which is wrong. Our lanes are static. What I want to do is have our lane manager be able to hold references to specific lane items, such as the lane spawn position, or the such as the lane spawn positions, or the lane ending objects, and these are objects. So lane end lane spawn object or lane end object. Service those two other classes. I'm not sure if our game manager is properly targeting the spawn points, given they aren't tracked. And damn it, we need to use our ats here, so game manager. Given they aren't tracked in lane manager, and we got rid of the old spawner code a while ago. So we're not sure if the game manager is even properly targeting the lane spawn points. So it'll be useful for that, and then we'll say the player position manager should determine where it anchors the player indicator by a set offset as stored as a vector3 attribute from the lane ending object position. Cool, that captures the need. We'll send that over, see how it goes. Yeah, actually, before I break, it probably would be good to hammer out the prefabs, because that way, when I come back, I could just focus on tuning up the gameplay, getting it ready for submission, maybe not necessarily worrying about adding any extra features, but just ensuring everything I have currently works and is fully playable. So I think I should have time for that. Got 5 hours left, so I better find time for it. Lots of important things achieved today, even though I decided to work a little slower than I usually do. I think maybe it was useful for trimming out some of the AI bullshit and making sure that the code that we are working with is going to be clean. So, come on, let's go, Bezi. Yes, perfect. I guess let's look at its lane manager changes. So this adds a lane data class. Oh, and then it holds those as references. It's a diction. Oh, okay. Well, why would it need a dictionary? It seems a little weird. I'm going to want to look at why it's using a dictionary versus. Yeah, I love that this can look at the scene hierarchy. That's so amazing, and something that even if you go and feed the YAML files into ChatGPT, it will never do for you. Oh no, we lost the Unity connection. Or does that mean it's busy? Well, it's green now, and I wonder if it lost the Unity connection mid-workflow. Hopefully that... Ah, yeah, look at that. It failed. So let's retry that. It's the first time that has happened to me. I wonder if it's executing properly there. Usually it has the little agentic boxes under it. You don't see them there when it's saying, hey, let me do this, let me do this. But, yeah, I like that player. It said player position manager doesn't need to hold its own number of lanes. Perfect. It's got the indicator offset. When we start, we get our lane count, and then we set our position. And switch to a lane, make sure it's a valid lane. And then animate to lane target position. Get position. This is where it is. So this no longer tries to guess a random position based on the screen space. This is eating. What is the point of this? Oh, if lane manager is not okay. Get the lane position. Awesome. Perfect. Yes, update the
game manager to use the actual spawns. Perfect. Wow, these changes are great. Thanks, Bezi. Let's accept. So I think we'll need to add that. Did it create that lane class it said it was going to? Let's see. Lane manager. Yes, lane data. Okay, what was it doing with this dictionary? Why don't we just reference with an index? Maybe I'll ask Bezi real quick. So I'm not fully sure. I don't know if I can think through it fully myself right now. So in Lane Manager, why do we convert the public array to a private dictionary? Can't we just use the indexes directly with the array? I'm asking this not in agent mode because I'm curious. I don't necessarily care for it to make changes here. So if it gives me an answer that's clear, it says, oh, you don't need to do that, I can change it myself. Yes. It does add complexity. You could use the directly. So walk me through the trade-offs. Allows lane indices like 0, 2, 5 without requiring lanes 1, 3, 4. Well, I don't care about the sparse indexing. That doesn't matter to me. Can be different from its array position. Easy to check if an array. Yeah, definitely better. Slightly faster, negligible difference, but yeah, we're gonna get rid of dictionary flow. So we don't need to initialize anything because it'll be initialized in our scene information. So get lane start instead of using a dic. Use lanes with main index. Oh yeah, we don't need no try get values, conditionals, or nothing. So we can return that directly. So much cleaner. Love that. And this one. Return. Cool. Where do we call is valid lane? Let's have Copilot answer this for us. So check if it's in bounds. That's fine. This is return lanes length. Okay, there we go. We don't need to initialize lane references. Cool. Jumping in.
All right.
So we're gonna need for each of our lanes to add that. No. Wait. Lane data class. Oh, this is not a mono behavior. We want it to be a mono behavior, I believe. I don't think. And if it's a mono behavior, it should live in its own class or own script file. So let's do that. Lane data. Right, and little annoying, but we'll just do it by hand. So start, ending, lane 1, index 1, start. Okay, and then our lane manager needs references to use. So a little quick trip, we lock the inspector, and we can go over here, click on all of these guys, drag them right in there. Boom, got all of our lanes added. So then I think we should be good. This is wrong. So when we're applying the offset here, let's make sure that it's applying it in rect space, because it is a rect transform object. So it's not. So we want to treat it as a rect transform. So where we go and we move it. We want to do, I think, local position for rect transforms.
The heat ray they emit from their mouths, it's more powerful than anything yet known to man.
Hey, don't you think it's
Test.
strange?
I'm gonna refactor all those to use the local position. And then, yeah, where we're using the offset. Where did it go? Indicator offset. There we go. Okay, so this should work. When we're getting the lane end position though, we want to get it as a rect transform.
I'm gonna get out of here, get some fresh air.
So we can cast it. That should be good. So getting the end position with I do believe we'll need local position, but we'll fix that if it's not. Getting our lane end position and returning the auto discover lanes. Where's this one? Huh, interesting. Anyways, okay. Where we get lane and position, this has the one usage right here, and we add the vector 3 indicator offset. This should work, I believe so. Oh, maybe we don't use local position actually, because I believe the way these are mounted is going to change the number we're getting. I was a fool to use local position. Why? Let's do a quick change. So
I'm not afraid.
replace with position. Okay. So it's that. Should fix that. Then we'll measure how far our tender is from the lane, just like so.
I hate that he is left oriented. Just weird. Center him. Okay. And off lane ending, he's at a negative of 95 if we keep him center pivoted. So we'll keep him center pivoted and then we'll test that value. Player position manager, we want our X position, I believe that's going to translate to be negative 95. So let's test and see. I keep saying I'm going to end this stream any second here now. Oh yeah, where did he go? This is not good. Let's. No, Wayward Tender is way gone. Oh, is this being treated as game units, not direct transform units?
Why not do a little test? Just to feel out the numbers. I could probably ask Bezi to help me here, but I'm running out of steam. I need to take a break and get dinner. Let's see. No, Fender is still really far away, so that didn't make a difference. Really, is this wrecked? Let's ask Bezi. So our player position manager, supposed to be rats. Our player position manager needs to work with the offsets more carefully. These elements are all using rect transform. Also, our lane endings are anchored a little weirdly. I want to be able to offset of position regardless of the parenting and anchoring differences between the player indicator and the lane ending. Alright. And let's do it in agent mode. See what Bezi can do. I wonder how much. Oh, no, don't do that. I don't know what I did. I wonder how many tokens I've used with Bezi so far in this jam. I don't think it's very much. Might not be able to see from the website here. Probably need to see from within the app, so I'll see if I can check that in a minute here. So it's saying there's still local position claims in there. Oh, that's in the lane manager, not the player position manager. Let me see. Apparently I went on a mad dash changing local positions. So player position manager advanced positioning? Why is that a new feature? I don't really understand that. Why is there Okay, let's see if it works. I'm pretty curious if it's changes. High level, I kind of got it, but this seems a little redundant. Okay. Pool manager, player position. Right now, this is non-advanced positioning system. That looks correct. Let's change it to that -95 that we wanted to use. Oh my gosh, that's perfect. Yes. Don't know what advanced positioning was, but I'm really curious. What is going on? The same result. Oh, well, pressing the arrow keys doesn't do anything. That's a bug. Oh, they do. It's tied to the left and right arrow. Very cool. That works pretty well. If we don't use advanced positioning, it doesn't seem much different. But cool, that is satisfactory. I want to change that right now so I can use left arrow and up arrow. Keep finding these little things that I'm gonna change as I'm getting in. I want to change this to move up. I don't care about it being 4 minutes serialized. I need to turn that off in my ID. And then move down. Now, I have multiple ways that I want to play. It won't always just be left arrow, right arrow, so we're going to turn these into an array. And where we go and use it. So we want to say check all move up keys. And we need a way to determine. We'll return if we have a higher priority. So that's cool. So next, I want to declare the default value for these. So maybe we don't, but it'd be kind of nice. Yeah, up arrow key, and then we also wanted key code A and key code left arrow. Next, remove down. Very similar. So now you can play with WASD or the arrow keys, and they are all tied to something. Go back. We should. Yeah, and there's no doubt better ways to handle this movement. I'm just running quick. Perfect. Ah, yes. So nice. Love to see it. Alright, well, thank you for tuning into the stream. I've got a lot to do here still in getting this working. And we're not spawning entities, actually. Our letter prefab object sorely needs updating because it is this and not a paddler. So we need to convert this guy over here into an actual paddler. Give them all the stuff they need. So they'd actually have like a patron class like this. Swim speed. Oh yeah, we do have patron types. Not sure how I want to handle that. Desired drink. Interesting. Yeah, we'll definitely need to do some refactoring on the patron script because this does not align with the sketches I was doing yesterday. So lots to do in 4 hours. I'm gonna probably take a good break here, get some dinner, come back, see if I could finish it up, and then I'll be posting on LinkedIn and maybe Discord and other places once I have the submission ready and it's playable. It's still a bit to do to make it playable. I'm a little bit feeling time pressure, but the break will be helpful here. Yeah, thank you all for tuning in. Yeah, Fatal Break, really good to see you, man. Let's connect sometime soon. I heard Jams is back at ARS, so that's exciting times. Should get the whole crew back together now. We'll have to chat sometime. I saw you sent me a Discord message, and yeah, Julian, thank you for coming in and hanging out with us as well. Bezi development has been super fun, and enjoying the heck out of this so far. So excited to wrap up today and submit the game and get it good. All right, y'all. Peace and thank you.